Good day, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you're having a great day. Playing the Animal Crossing. Could be a bunch of stars on the beach today. We'll see, I guess. Looks like our veggies are ready. We'll be doing some cooking too. Looks like our veggies are ready. That'll be a good time. Anyway, let's press A, get to it. So, polls up. Sound looks like it's working. Here we go. All right. You can recognize my shirt or not, but oops. I close the results. To reopen them poll. There. Hit the space bar and actually pause my poll. Good evening, everyone. February 24th, eh? Flick's here. You know, there's not really great bugs at this time of the year, though. That's the only thing. Flick has been around, but, you know, it's hard to find the good bugs. Open that present. Lecture hall desk. Do I have any bugs on me? No, it's mostly fish. William, thank you for liking. Much appreciated. Marina's gonna try to be more spontaneous. Alright, let's go see if we have this music. The Duke, thank you for liking. As the Duke would say, let's go! Did I get that right? Hopefully you had a sound on. Because, you know, that would have been far more entertaining. You not watching the game tonight? Calgary versus Vancouver? No, I don't really care for either team, to be honest, but I'm a Kings fan. Although, since I stream every night, it's hard to watch hockey, to be honest. Oh, that song I had. Crap. But, you know, I would like to see both of them lose, because that helps the Kings. But unfortunately, one of them has to win. So as long as they don't win in overtime, I guess would be ideal. And then that would fill me with joy. Gotta water our roses. We got a whole bunch of flowers here to pick up. And Zan, thank you for liking. Much appreciated. Calgary's gonna win. They're on fire. And Johnny Hockey. Well, what spawned all the flowers in this garden, eh? None of them look like the flowers I want anyway. There we go. That's way tidier, though. Not one red one, eh? I tell ya. Do you go in the hockey pools usually, William? Always kind of fun to enter hockey pools, you know. Guess who the winner is going to be and stuff. Not much on this beach, only 1 star. Matthew, thank you for liking. Much appreciated. Look at that, we found a fossil. I don't know if I have any bugs on me. I don't. No bugs. He's wearing the coat from yesterday still that I gave him. Made a few bets on Proline, but I haven't bet on a game for a bit. Most of my extra money goes into crypto. Oh. Well, there you go, eh? I was watching a thing talking about crypto. And it seems to be a way for rich people to get richer for the most part. And then a lot of people to lose money, and then a few kind of get lucky. So make sure anything you invest is money that you're willing to lose. As the best attitude from what that thing was saying. You know, the LA Kings arena, they paid, what was it, 40 million bucks or something for Crypto.com to take over the name from Staples Center. They put the big dough into it. And that's probably a drop in the bucket. It's like that if you have paper hands. Only people who make something off of it hold for a while. Yeah, but they're saying essentially there's a lot of people that wind up being losers essentially. So, you know, I guess that's why they say to make sure it's only something you know, if you're okay with losing whatever you invest into it, then that's good. Paper hands means buy and sell right away. Yeah, I figured that's what you meant. I'm learning a new reaction. I bought some stock before. That's kind of a gamble too. And I wound up losing it. Or not losing it, but you know, it wound up going down. And then I got into a situation where I basically had to sell it. And then, so I wound up losing a little bit on it. Not a ton, but. We got a star on the beach. Diamond hands is someone that holds it for a few years. You imagine being that guy that, you know, paid for a pizza with his crypto, and then he wound up realizing later if he would have held it, it would have been millions. That would have been a bummer, eh? But there's a lot of people that ultimately you know, certain people, it seems to be the people with the most money are the ones that kind of gain on them. On that sort of thing. Old Elon, he's twisted it around a couple times from the looks of it. I'm not saying not go into it, you know, just of course always be careful that, and make sure you're not overextending yourself is probably the message I got from that video anyway. Let's empty out our inventory, man. We got full of crap. It hurts when you see investments decrease, but there's another saying, if you can't handle the 200% dips, then you don't deserve their 500% gains. Yeah, probably, eh? Sounds like you got a good attitude about it, though. Probably a lot to panic in the 200% dips too, I bet, eh? I don't know what a Dala horse is, so... That'll clear up some space, eh? Sell. How much do you think this scooter costs? Let's just say invest money that you... Never invest money that you need right away. 13,000 is not terrible. Metaverse. Is that related to Facebook? They changed their name to Meta. I've never even heard of Metaverse coins, to be honest, but I'm, you know, it is related. Oh, okay. I remember I played a game called Second Life before. Well, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but anyway, it's kind of like, you know, kind of like where you can basically build anything, right? You just, you can fly around and you just out of the tools in the game, you could build, you know, your stuff. You could rent your land essentially from the company. And you know, become a land owner, and then you can build whatever you want to that land, or you could rent land from other people. You know, everybody kind of puts together for a, you know, bigger chunk and that kind of deal, right? And some people would run stores and stuff like that. And when they showed Meta, you know, some of the Meta examples for Facebook, it reminded me of Second Life a lot. But there's people that had full businesses in that thing, and they'd make money and sell Linden money for real money and stuff like that. There's a whole market for it. I had bought some land. No, it's not really a blockchain game in NFTs. This is like years and years ago. Probably 10, 15 years ago. And it's kind of, it really looked a lot like how they were building Meta, as in, you know, how it looked, you know, like, cause I don't even know if Meta is capable of doing what that game did. It's still around, but some people made a real fortune off of it. But yeah, I bought some land, and you know, the Linden dollar value goes up and down based on the, you know, like the actual people can sell it for real money, and it went up and down depending on how much people were selling and stuff like that. And you could set the amount you wanted to sell at, and you know, the money you earned in the game. And I had, for a little while, I had a little nightclub people could, you know, hang out at, and then basically after a while I sold my land, and I made a few $100s more than I invested, I think. Although you did have to pay a monthly fee for the land. But when I started, there was gambling, You know, you could have slot machines that people built and stuff like that, but they had to, at the time, U.S. Banned online gambling. So they made everybody, you know, pull their slot machines out of the world, kind of thing. But you could make money with your slot machine and stuff like that, like your little casino. And you took your chance if you did that, because I mean, you know, that's money coming out of your bank if somebody hits it big or figures out how to hack it. So I wasn't too brave with the slot machines, but there was full casinos in there that some people had. But yeah, it was kind of cool. It's called Second Life. So it's by Linden Labs. But there was like people doing crazy business. Like there's people making, some people that were realtors in the game, and they were making like millions of dollars, you know, like that kind of thing. It was, you know, like fairly lucrative for a while there, at least. I don't know how I did after I got bored of it and moved on. But, you know, this during the time I played it, the skins that you could buy for your character and stuff like that made them look way more realistic. There's a lot of adult component in the game too, because, you know, you could literally do whatever you wanted, and there was some weird crap that went down in that game. You know, if you looked for it, because, you know, you could design poses. You could make your character look fully realistic down to everything. And, you know, there'd be people going and making animations and all sorts of things, you know? You know, like, so people would sell that stuff too, the animations for doing that adult stuff, or, you know, if you wanted to have, you know, some sort of weird S&M club, you could. Or if you wanted to have a normal club or whatever, you know, and then people would have contests, and, you know, the winner of the, you know, the best dressed would win. So you'd go out and you'd spend money on your clothes, you know, like a skin would be about $20 converted. You know, I can't remember how many Linden that was at the time. And then if you, like, for a nice skin, because it took a lot of work to make a really nice skin. And hairdos, you could spend, I think they were like 400 to 1,000 Linden. So you could spend either a couple bucks, or you could spend, you know, $10 or whatever for a haircut pack. And, you know, the clothes, people had full clothing stores and stuff like that. They'd go and they'd, you know, some people, that's all they do is design dresses and clothing. And then real stores, like not real stores, but real businesses actually even made like centers where you could go visit, and, you know, it would, you know, teach you a little bit about their business or whatever. They're very intrigued about this game. It's almost like they're godfathers of play to earn blockchain gaming, or at least gameplay to earn. Yeah, you know, they were very early on. It was, I'm sure there was other ones around too. There was another one I read about at the time. Can't remember the name of it, but I remember somebody bought a Starbase, like a, you know, they actually mortgaged their house. And I think it was over $100,000 they paid for this Starbase in this one game that's similar to that. And then they'd rent out the rooms on this thing. And, you know, they got ahead in the end. But just think, you know, you're mortgaging your house for a virtual game to get a virtual Starbase, and then you're, you know, gambling that basically you'd be able to make a thing of it. And I think that person did come ahead. Maybe it's called Starbase Utopia for that one. But yeah, it's pretty wild if you think about some of the things that were out there. I don't know what happened to that guy with the Starbase in the end, but I know quite a few people in Second Life that's what they kind of did for a while, is they're full-time land barons and stuff like that in Second Life. But it was a fun game. You know, people would play. You'd have people that were DJs. You know, they'd play their music that they probably downloaded from BitTorrent or whatever it was at the time. And you'd request a song, and they'd usually find it for you. And then you know, you'd tip them, and you know, a few linden, and of course that would equal money in the end, right? That they could spend on other things in the game, or they could you know, cash it out if they had enough, I guess. There's a lot of weird crap in there though. Like there'd be like a penis storm, you know, if you know, because there's lots of trolls in it, right? So you know, walk through. I was showing a friend of mine the game at the time, and there was a penis storm. So somebody had digital penises attacking area. And then there's also things you could do. You could make a game. You could, or not make a game. You could make your land where you could PvP. You know, it'd give you hit points and stuff. So some people would role play. And it's a PC game, yeah. So some people would role play, and then they would, you know, have a battle, you know. But there'd be literally, you know, anything you were interested in, like anything. You could look for like a comprehensive build of whatever, you know. I think like Roblox and stuff like that probably got some ideas from these guys. But yeah, you could have a comprehensive land looking around, like, you know, somebody built Star Wars land kind of thing, you know, like Mos Eisley. I remember walking through a Mos Eisley where it was like pretty. They did a really good job. What other casual games do I recommend? I don't play a lot of Switch, to be honest. I play some. But I mean, I've heard Pokemon is really good. I haven't played it. The only games I actually have on the Switch are Mario Odyssey and Civilization, and this one. Oh, and Minecraft. But yeah, I'm sure if you like this kind of game, that Pokemon, the new Pokemon, would be good. Yeah, you hear it's fire, yeah. But yeah, Pikmin's good on the old ones. I don't know if they ever did a Pikmin on the Switch though. I guess I don't know if that's casual like this, but it's fun. A lot of people like Zelda too, like that new Zelda game. But like I said, I haven't played actually a lot of games on Switch. I'm more of an Xbox guy, to be honest. Although I do play a lot of this game. Yeah, you should always, William, if you get a chance, you should look up that Second Life and just see if it's around still, and let me know if it looks like it's still a thing. I haven't played it for years, but I think it is still around. What do you want? Oh, she wants a secret greeting, eh? Do some more research. I bet you if they've kept at it, they probably made it pretty cool. I pushed the wrong button, to be honest. See what I did there, being that I am kind of an Xbox guy at the same time, is I pressed the button that would normally be the space on the Xbox, and on the Nintendo Switch, the space is actually what would normally be the back button on the Xbox. So they kind of rotated around a bit. So your right button, you know, it's like 4. Your right button on the Nintendo Switch, on this Pro Controller at least, is what would be a different button? Oh wait, sorry, that would be your back button normally. And then so your A button is usually the bottom one on Xbox, but B is the bottom one on Nintendo. And A is right on the Switch, and then B is right on the Xbox. And then they have the X and Y switched as well. Switch is my system. My husband has the Xbox One. Play a little Fortnite. My daughter is trying to teach me how to play Apex, which is a little similar to Fortnite. Oh, okay. Yeah, I like I like to kind of dabble in all the systems. So I got a Series X and I got this Switch, and then I have when I get a chance, I'll get a PlayStation 5 as well. And then I have all number of past generations as well. So it's like I have a 3DO, and I have those like even back to the Intellivision and stuff like that. There's a couple systems I'm missing. I got like a good 20 some odd consoles. Our own secret salutation. I think I've used that for someone else too. Second Life is still around and the graphics are amazing. They've done a lot of updates. Yeah, it's funny. I've never actually played Fortnite or Apex. I'm not hugely into Battle Royale games though. So, I like played one match of PUBG. There's one game where it had like not vampires, but some sort of zombies or something in it. That's kind of a Battle Royale game. But that's more of a looter game that I tried. And then other players can kill you. So it's not the same idea exactly. It's a little bit different. Can't remember what the game is. Oop. Almost missed that fish. Yeah. But yeah, back in the day, there was a lot of trolls anyway. So some people, you'd have to banish somebody, if they came in and started trolling. Kick them right out. But, they'd have programs and stuff that they had to flood the area with, usually some sort of graphical thing that would kind of bog it down and cut the area down. You know, because the server would get overwhelmed, right? But, you know, it would knock out a chunk of land. Trying to remember what buttons on what different games is kind of hard for me. I haven't played a system since PS2. I was into Guitar Hero then, but I decided to pick it back up since we were empty nesters now. Well, there you go. That makes sense. I wish Facebook wasn't stinky about music games, because I have like a couple thousand songs for Rock Band. I got like the pro instruments for Rock Band 3, and I got all the Guitar Heroes and stuff like that. Beatles Rock Band, and the Rock Band all the way up to current generation, basically. I was a big Harmonix fan for the longest time. Did you know Harmonix actually was the one that made Rock Band? So they made Rock Band, or not Rock Band. They did make Rock Band as well. But they made Guitar Hero. Guitar Hero 1 and Guitar Hero 2 was by Harmonix. And then it was bought up, I think. And basically, that's when it got taken over. I think it was by Neversoft, which is Activision. And anyway, at that point, those guys made Guitar Hero 3, not Harmonix, but Harmonix at that point made Rock Band 1. So they kind of were competing against their own franchise in a way. And then they went on to Rock Band 2, 3, you know, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I liked both games a lot. I wasn't very impressed with the last Guitar Hero. You know, they changed that new guitar with a different, instead of using the 4 colored buttons like, or 5 color buttons like they normally do, it's like they tried to make it a little bigger twist. And then they had Guitar Hero, like it's called Guitar Hero Live. And that was kind of cool because you could play that live service. But the live service ended, you know? So like half the game suddenly stopped working, and it wasn't that long after it came out, really. But yeah, I would definitely. I have the Ion drums. So those are like, it looks like a real drum set. You can't really see it from here, but if you look closely behind me, you might be able to see Guitar Hero drums. But over that way for me, I have an Ion drum set, which is like a real drum set, electronic drum set. And you can actually, if you hooked an amp up to it, you could play it. And the Rock Band Pro guitar was like a real guitar, you know, with strings and stuff. And you could actually hook that to an amp and play it too if you wanted. So I've actually played that Guitar Smith, I think it's called Rocksmith, with that guitar, and learned a little bit of, I could play a little bit of Nirvana from that. But yeah, Guitar Hero 3 was a great game. Guitar Hero 2, 1, those are good games. Guitar Hero rocked the 80s. But it's interesting when you think of the history there, because Harmonix was involved in both of them. I actually got to, at PAX one year, I got to go to a Harmonix thing, and they invited everybody that attended to go to some coffee shop called Top Pot, like a top donut coffee shop. And they would give you whatever you wanted. So you could have as many donuts as you wanted. You could have as many coffees, as many fancy hot chocolates and stuff like that. So that probably wasn't a great night for me. Because, you know, you have like 5 hot chocolates, you're like wired all night. But But I mean, it was interesting because they'd answer any questions too. I found that interesting. Plus, they gave like all these little codes. So they gave me like, I think it was like $30 in PlayStation codes, and like 60 or $70 in Xbox codes to buy more music, kind of deal. I guess what happened, why they had these little cards, was because at one point they were obtained by some company, and that company had had bought a bunch of codes, and they had boxes and boxes of these codes, and they didn't give them to Harmonix. They just had this sitting around, and then eventually Harmonix reacquired itself, and then in the acquirement, that company handed them all the codes that they had bought. So then they had all these codes to give away. And as a little more interesting side note, because you like Fortnite, Harmonix recently, like it bought its independence, but just recently this year, they got bought by Epic. So Fortnite, they're gonna help make Fortnite stuff, kind of thing, in some fashion. Celestine, thank you for liking, much appreciated. Timothy, what's going on tonight? We're collecting stars off the beach so far. We got a whole pile of them. Look at that. And then we're also collecting fossils so far. Dug up a bunch of flowers to clean up the garden. Now, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. If they're going to be working on Fortnite stuff, that means they're not making the kind of games that I like. But, because I'm not a big Battle Royale fan. But, I mean, kind of interesting. Now you can exhibit all this Fortnite knowledge and stuff if you want, But, got to get back into this game. Yeah, your villager's probably wondering what happened to you. But yeah, if you do like long games, Civilization 6 is like super good, super well done on the Switch, by the way. That's where you grow a civilization from scratch. You start with one set of settlers, and you build a city, and then you gotta slowly expand to however you want to expand to take over the world. So you could build more cities. You could build settlers and move to more cities. You gotta make sure you build defenders and stuff like that. You can be all these different civilizations. I don't know if you've ever played Civilization, but yeah, you can really choose what you want to do, and you choose who you start with, and that gives you different advantages and disadvantages. And then you can take over the world through war, for example, if you want. You could take over the world through, culture. Like, you do a lot of stuff to build your culture up. Or you can do stuff to build. It's like a big board game, essentially. It gets compared to Settlers of Catan. Culture, religion. If you get you're aggressive with your religion. You could take over a good portion of the world by not actively taking them over, but you get them converted all to your religion, and then that you found, and then eventually that gives you a victory. Or you can win the space race, so you focus on technology a lot, and then in the end, if you're the first one to get to planet whatever it's called, then and that's considered a win. Recently discovered that on the Switch online play that you can go back and play the original games. Yeah, that's there, eh? I saw that, but I haven't played them. We saw a lot of stars yesterday. You wish upon stars, and the next day your beach has a bunch of stars. You kind of have to keep checking back. Every time I start playing, I find another game that ends up pulling me away from it. That happens. Although I think this game is kind of easy, you know, to kind of get back into for a bit. And then if you get distracted by something, you can always easily remember how to play it. I find that some games you get back into them and then, you wind up forgetting how to play it. So in that aspect, it's kind of hard. You got to kind of reacquaint yourself with the controls. Even like if you noticed the other night, if you watched me play Far Cry, I had to kind of reacquaint myself with the controls a little bit. But yeah, if you like that kind of game, you might want to check out Civilization 6 because it's really a good port on Nintendo Switch. Good port on all systems. I have it on Xbox and on Switch and on PC. And I have all the expansions for a couple of them. Yeah, Timothy, you might be able to recommend. What's the other good casual games like this one? Timothy's played the Pokemon game. And expressed that it was pretty good. But yeah, Civilization's one of those games I could go back to a lot too. You get the DLC, like some of the DLC packs have Canada in them. Oh, water nearby, I do. Excuse me. Well, hopefully the new reboot of Saints Row is good. Probably check that out for sure. Alright, so we got a hole. Oh, Savaja, thank you for inviting your viewers. Much appreciated. Oh look, I dropped the fries. I didn't even know I could do that. Pokemon Legends Arceus became an instant hit for Timothy. See, there's lots of big fish around now that Stupid bug man's here. Firedell, thank you for liking. Look at that, we caught a sea bass. Yeah, a few people have told me that it's kind of similar pace to this game, I think. Or that there's some similarity anyway. Gotta collect them all. Yeah, I'll be able to make some cooking. Got too much stuff on me right now to really pull from the garden though. Look at all that food. Do I have a bunch of stuff I can sell probably? And look at this, I've doubled the confetti. Has a different feel to it. It's better than the rest. And you can explore far and wide. You definitely recommend it. There you go. Can't get much better recommendations than that, eh? First hand. I want to sell. I don't want to sell that. I don't want to sell it. We'll have to check it out. Me and the hubby would play Pokemon Go on our phones and ride around for hours trying to catch them all. LOL. When I say hours, someday we would use a tank of gas in the car. Oh, you really got into it, eh? There was a big craze, I remember, when that came out. People got right into it. They were crawling around and people were getting mad because there's these Pokemoners on their property. There's those police officers that got fired because they ignored a call to a robbery because they're catching some Pokemon. There's a big court battle. They just settled that not too long ago. Hey Charlotte, how are you? Alright, we got space yet? We should probably go here and see if I can make that one cool stand yet. Hello, my fellow Canadian. I'm good, thank you. For days, no seizures. Well, that sounds like a good thing. For 4 days, no seizures. You can build a wooden chest now with wood. Here, right? Alright, let's go down here. There's like a cool item. Those are Sagittarius fragments. I don't have any of those. There's this stand here. Pisces fragments. Need a gold nugget and some stone. Thank you for liking. Much appreciated. I have some gold nuggets. I can't remember if I do or not. I have stone, definitely. Hey, look at all the stone. Build a bunch of stone stuff. Ooh. How's my side? It's pretty good. A little bit cold today. Although not as cold as it could be, I suppose. A little bit of snow. I didn't bother shoveling it away though, because it's supposed to be above 0 tomorrow. And now we got a Pisces lamp. What we needed, eh? Make basement flooring out of the stone. -6, that's not too bad. That's about very similar, I think. But you know, I want that positive weather, you know, spring weather. That'll be the best. That one needs clay too. We can get some clay. We had lots of clay to use up. There we go. Now we can make a rustic stone wall. Get some of them check marks, eh? I don't know if there's any benefit to that, but cleans up my storage anyway. We can make a stone kitchen. Iron nuggets though now. That one involves a shovel. That one involves a shovel too. Well, I guess we built a couple things. The cats or something on the TV, eh? Yeah, I don't like that as good as the other floor. There we go. Put this stuff back. We're gonna see what a Dala horse looks like. There you go. Rinky dink thing, eh? -7 there. Yeah, we're all facing okay temperatures. Is that heavy snow still down east there? They had that big storm front there for a while there, and I heard it came down pretty good. Where I could put this lamp. Right there, eh? There, that looks better. I can see it's a pair of fish now. I didn't realize it. So we got, I guess that's a Taurus, right? Pisces. I don't think this one turns on though. Not nearly as cool. This is not a lamp. There was snow on the trees, sun is shining today. That's always good, eh? Oh, Celestine's leaving? I missed the comment. Touch my thing. Oh, there it is. Bye. Alright, Celestine, have a good night. Thank you for coming by. Yeah, you know, if I forget to stretch out the chat, I only see 2 lines, but if I stretch out the chat, I could see like 6 or 7. Funny how it's designed. So Maverick, who was here yesterday, Timothy, he's on a 29-day ban, I guess, from Facebook itself. So we won't see him for about a month. He messaged me through Discord. Better make sure I leave room for BTS. Yeah, won't see him for about a month. I guess it picked up some comments. You know, some of it looked like it might have been potentially responding to a game or something like that. I'm not sure. You know, like there's certain words that the bots pick up, and then maybe he just said something inappropriate or whatever. Who knows? English isn't his first language, so sometimes he might not pick up when he's saying something that might be offensive or something, I guess. I mean, he's not all innocent, but sometimes he might have got a strike or something when he maybe didn't need one. And it's not his first time banning on Facebook, I guess. He's had a couple times off. I thought that's the longest one that I've seen him say though. But we'll see him in a month, I guess. Oh crap, man. Oh. Yeah, you always gotta kind of be careful because you know sometimes the robot interpreting you like an AI, you know. And of course, you don't want to say anything that comes across wrong too, you know, whether you mean it or not. But that's how it goes. The footstep sounds are really good. Yeah, they kind of have a fun with that, eh? It depends on the boots you wear too. Like if I put on high heels, it sounds different than the boots that I'm wearing. See if I have any space. Things I can. Well, maybe that's enough. You've gotten warnings for stuff going on in Call of Duty? Yeah. I imagine it is tricky though for somebody with English as a second language. Um, you know, because you might not really mean to sound harsh, but sometimes, you know, what you're saying sounds harsh. And then if you add it to talking about a game or something like that, it's probably tough. So I think there's sometimes just the not right choice of words too that got him a couple times. And then because he showed me like his little warning screen and it looked like one of them probably wasn't needing really a thing. Your second language is English. Do you ever have trouble with that where you say something in like a stream or whatever and then maybe it comes across wrong, you know, like, and then you get warned by the bots that you're saying something insulting to somebody? I think it depends on how fluent you are too, right? You know, like I think that for that for Maverick there, I think he's still really new to English anyway. Because there's a lot of words he doesn't understand that he asks for clarification on. I'm just guessing, but let's something. Right, yeah. See if we can start crafting up where we get flour. Those will use up 5 each. Yeah, that can happen. I think with that, it probably happens a little more often. In some cases, because of that, you know. But like you said, sometimes it happens to you too. But yeah, like Fire Devil said, sometimes they do need to work on the bots a bit because sometimes the bots kind of misfire, get you for something that you probably didn't really need to be gotten for. Like one of his examples that I saw was, I know it was taken out of context. Your first language was Swedish, and your sister's language is Spanish. Wow, your family has all sorts of languages. That's pretty cool. Do you get the opportunity to use Swedish much in Canada? You know, I find in BC, you know, there's not even a lot of opportunity to use French. And that's an official language. You do get to use it, that's good. The thing that I found is I took a little bit of high school French and stuff like that, but you know, I barely know it because, you know, you don't really run into any opportunity to really use it. At least over here. You know, I know one guy that knows French. Your favorite hockey player is from Sweden? Is it Mats Sundin? From Sweden, isn't he? I think he's from Sweden. I'm not sure though. He's retired now. Who's your favorite hockey player, Timothy? Saku, I remember him. He's retired too. Yeah, he was pretty good. Is Mats Sundin from Sweden? Can ask Alexa, I guess. Alexa, what country is Mats Sundin from? Oh, thank you for becoming a follower, Rose. Much appreciated. Welcome to the Starbase. Your alert should be soon. Your abs fan on Tangsley. Hola, como esta? There you go. I went to Mexico once and I took a little Spanish class in the resort, but that's the extent of my Spanish training. I can't remember. I think they taught us how to go to the... Where's the bathroom? But I don't remember how to say that. Oh, wait. What did it answer? Where he is from? I didn't even hear my... my thing. Alexa, what country is Matt Sundin from? Doesn't know. I guess Matt Sundin was kind of known for being Toronto, wasn't he? You lost your old account and this is your new one, so you had to refollow. Well, there you go. Is your old one still exist? You just can't get in? Hope you didn't get hacked. All these hacked accounts they write me and then they try to sell me, or not sell me, they try to convince me to let them put ads on my page for, they say, I'll give you $1,000 to put ads on your page, even though they could, you know, use the Facebook manager and they could actually go and they, you know, if they really wanted to, you know, they're always looking to get access. But if they wanted to, they could go to the Facebook manager and get it for far cheaper than that. You did get hacked. That sucks. Yeah, there's also all these, like, for not in the last week, but you know, I bet you I've gotten 30 of those stupid things. You know, telling me, oh, can I put ads, and you know, like, I'm gonna give you all this money to put an ad on your page, and then they, like, you know, they want to get access to my bank account or something, right? And you know, and you look at their profile, they work at McDonald's or something like that. You know, it doesn't make sense how they're offering all this money. I suppose somebody that works at McDonald's could have a bunch of money, but you know, the profile doesn't match up with what they're offering, essentially. This is just some random account. It's always the same exact lines from all these different accounts. So I tell them, if you want an ad, just go through Facebook, your Facebook management page, and you can buy it for way cheaper than that. You know, it always sounds fishy, you know, more like -1,000. Yeah, I think they're trying to get something out of it. I don't know exactly what, but I was like, no. You got hacked once, it sucked? Yeah, getting hacked sucks. You're in a crash today or driving a semi? I was driving a semi back, and some idiot thought it'd be a good idea to brake check me. Oh, really? Oh, that sucks. Hopefully you're alright. Getting an accident is never nice. You're in a semi, though. I imagine you're probably alright, but hopefully nobody got hurt at all. Hit a dude at 92. Oh, you did get hurt, eh? That's too bad. A broken wrist, that kind of sucks. Did they wreck their car? Were they hurt at all? I'm hoping that's all that got injured there, or just one broken wrist, and that's it then. Car was destroyed. Yeah, I can imagine it. Nothing holds too well up to semis. Did they own up to the thing, or does it go on your insurance? I remember one time I was driving a vehicle, company vehicle, and I was going straight on a light. It was still green, or just flicked to yellow, and somebody was turning left and they hit me, and you know, so they called, where we called the police to come and talk to us, and then they were like, before the police came, they were all like, oh, sorry, it's my fault. And then when they talked to the police, they were telling the police that it was my fault, and they were trying to say that I was running a red light and stuff like that. And like the police officer asked me, what was the light? I said, oh, I don't know. It was either green or yellow. I don't know. It was still on where I was okay to go. Forrest, thank you for liking. And anyway, both cars kind of got wrecked. Like they had to tow. I was a little bit shaken up, but I was okay. But my vehicle, my company vehicle, I had to go get repaired. And and of course they gave her a ticket or not a ticket, but it was obviously her fault because I was going straight. And even if it was a red light, like she was claiming, all of a sudden, she was still crossing the line of traffic. And then she would have been going on a red too then, right? So, but I don't think it was red. The dude was airlifted Funny thing is that the dude was third time offend with no insurance and lost his license after that. Oh, okay. Wow, that's rough, eh? Well, at least hopefully that means he's gonna recover, but sounds like it was a bad one anyway. Yeah, that was my accident back in the day. Didn't wind up going to I was supposed to drive out of town with that vehicle, but it was just on the edge of town. I remember too the police was actually kind of nice to me because he asked me if I was wearing a seatbelt, and I said no. You know, I said I normally just slide it on right after that, and then he asked me again, and I said no, and then he goes, you know, I have to give you a ticket if you aren't wearing a seatbelt. So were you wearing a seatbelt? You know, he's kind of hinting at me, and I said yeah, and he said okay. But I actually didn't have my seatbelt on yet because I was just kind of the job I was doing. I usually just pull out of the area I was at and then flip it on right after that. But could have got a ticket out of it. Not much can hold up to a truck. Yeah, no doubt, eh? You know what they say? I was reading a thing, you know, about all these self-driving cars and stuff like that they're working on. You know, if that comes in, that'll reduce a lot of accidents because they say that 90% of accidents are human error. So, like, obviously, that guy pulling in on you like that there was a human error. Ticket is nothing compared to your life. Yeah, that's true. But I mean, I got lucky because, you know, I didn't die, but I also didn't get a ticket for someone hitting me. I tried to avoid them too, but you know, they caught me anyway. Like I saw them and then I just kind of I was going straight, they were turning left, and I saw them, so I kept trying to get out of the way, and then they caught the back end of my vehicle. It's just like I was driving a kind of a van, and they were driving a like a hatchback, their son's hatchback or something like that. And they wrecked that hatchback pretty good though. Doesn't take much. Good thing you have a clean driving record. Do they determine that it's your fault because you rear-ended them, or is it because they cut you off they determine it's their fault? Because I'm not sure how that works there. Like, there was no question on my accident back in the day because they were crossing the lane. You know, the person going straight always has the right of way. Not my fault. The dash cam came in handy. Oh, there you go. There's a good use for a dash cam, eh? I liked watching the dash cams. There's some YouTube videos that show, you know, the Coquihalla, which is the big highway, going towards Vancouver from interior. Get to see some pretty wild weather. You look up the Coquihalla, like the Smasher and stuff like that. through some people's dash cams that they put up on the internet. Like there's semis and 4x4s and everything all in the ditch on that road. It's terrible to drive in the winter. I drove that Coquihalla coming back from Vancouver one time in the winter. It's not crash videos, it's just kind of showing them drive through the snow, right? But you see a lot of vehicles in the ditch though. But I remember driving back from there, and there's somebody behind me, and you could see they actually spun and scraped the meridian between the roads, because people don't drive properly, you know, in that kind of conditions. You have to go nice and slow, and some people with those 4x4 trucks, they just give her anyway. My vehicle has all-wheel drive, but I tell you that conditions of that road are terrible, so I always kind of make sure I take her easy. Slow and steady wins the race. Yeah, that road's rough. But you can see the conditions of the road though, like all the snow and, you know, and stuff like that. I'm not saying like it's crashing videos, it's just there's an area called the Smasher. There's like these big snow tunnels and stuff like that. When you're driving that in the middle of the winter, it's like the wall of snow along the side is crazy high. I own cars that can move over 320 kilometers an hour, and I don't like driving fast. Yeah. There's somebody that did that in Vancouver there. They got a ticket. I can't remember I think they were going 200 something. And they got impounded. Gave her on the Surrey Highway or something like that. Testing one of them cars out. Usually it's the motorbikes that go that fast, if anything, but that you see in that area at least. But this one was driving a car and they got a huge ticket. I can't remember the exact speed, but they were moving way over what's considered excessive ticket. I guess that's the only thing about when you have a car that can drive that fast. I mean, not too many places where you can actually drive it that fast around. When you have fast cars but you don't like driving, well, I guess that's good in a way. It's good to be cautious. Nice looking cars usually when they can drive that fast though. What do you think of the like those ones like the Porsche, I think is it the Porsche Taycan? The electric one that they made. But that car looked kind of fun. Miles per hour, been over 227 miles per hour since a friend of mine who's still alive have a heart attack. Oh, okay. You had to rush them to the hospital. You don't like Porsche, boring car maker? I think that the thing that kind of interested me in that car was that was one of the first electric ones though that were made by a company like that. There might have been other ones, but that was the first one I heard about. Other than Tesla, but Tesla's not quite the same league as, you know, where Porsche is kind of in that league with Ferrari and stuff like that. You know, I probably couldn't fit in a Porsche anyway, I don't think. One time, I got a ride from somebody in a Miata. And boy, that was tight fit trying to get into that thing. That's not probably that's like such a small car. Not really the same thing as those faster ones, but it's still, I guess it's a sports car of some degree. But you couldn't push the seat back, you know, like when you're my size, I can get away with getting into some cars by declining the seat a bit back. And then that gives me the headroom and stuff. They're expensive to insure, I can imagine. I know in British Columbia they took any of the cars that were over 100 grand, and the ICBC, like the BC public insurance, they won't insure you anymore if your car is over a certain value. So they'll only give you the basic insurance, and then you have to go to a private insurer. But normally everyone in BC is through ICBC. Camaro. You ever hear that Dead Milkman song? Bitchin' Camaro, I ran over my neighbor. Check that song out, Timothy. Most people aren't familiar with Dead Milkman, but maybe you'll like that song if Camaro is your favorite car. There we go. Look at that. We got all the garden. You haven't? Oh, okay. Well, you can always look her up on YouTube or something. Or wherever you like streaming music or whatever you do. I used to listen to Dead Milkman a lot, but not as much these days. Lamborghini Aventador. I think I drove one of those in Forza. Seemed like a pretty cool car. Pretty sure it was an Aventador. I'm not sure how to say that, but the name looks familiar. Lamborghinis are always fun though. They look cool. I don't think I'd fit in one either. I think my best hope is probably I can fit in a Tesla Model X because there was a car show and I got to sit in one. So I know I fit in those. I think I was okay with the Model S, but I think I struggled a little bit getting into the Model 3 because it had a, you know, like when you get into the car, there's kind of a lip, and I had trouble getting in because of the lip. The V12 make more sense than a Ferrari. Would be fun to drive in around. Yeah, I bet you it'd be fun. It has a fart mode. Your six. Do you have trouble getting into them? Because that lip really. I struggled with that lip getting into the car. I mean, it looks like you're about the same height as me. But yeah, the Model 3, the lip was kind of interfering with me. It was just how I get into cars, though. I don't know. I'm a big guy too, right? So I don't think those are really designed for dudes my size. Not me personally seeing being thin helps. Yeah, probably. I would imagine. Although some of those you can't really push the seats back, though. That's one thing that I found was a little bit crampy in that Miata, at least. And I'm not sure how these other ones are designed, but I found the Miata a bit crampy, trying to get in, because I was just going to the passenger side. I could get in the car, but you can't put the seat down a bit. Oh yeah, she's asleep. We put her to sleep. Right on. Very relaxing. But yeah, no, I don't know. I found, with my leg length too, that I had a little trouble with the Miata because it felt like my knees were right on the dash. But that might be just the Miata's design, though. I don't know. I can't say I've been in a ton of sports cars, so just a few Teslas and stuff when I was at that electric car show, because it was kind of neat to check them out. But yeah, Timothy, they have a fart mode. You can push a button on the screen and indicate which seat farts, so you could pretend that your passenger farted. That was the owner of that car was very happy to show that off. And I can't say I've ever seen a car with a fart mode before. They also have video games. You can play video games on their little console too. I'll play some. If you kind of kill some time, I guess. I asked that owner though, that Model X that they had, how much they paid for it, and they said $140,000. I was like, well, that's pretty good. Price of a house. And that was American dollars too. I don't know if the fart mode is an app you download or whatever, but that's what they had. They had it activated. So everybody all in the car laughed when we pushed the fart button on the other person. Apparently that's something unique. I don't know if it's in every Tesla model, but it was in that model. I think that it's in the S and the X, but I'm not 100% sure. That was an X for sure, that one. I like one thing I like too, that I don't have a dog anymore, but I like that they added a dog mode. So like if you have to leave your dog in the car, it'll have this thing on the screen saying it's in dog mode. This is the temperature inside, and it'll keep the temperature at a reasonable level for your pet. I thought that was a really awesome feature. The little things, right? You got a dog, Don't want somebody bonking out your window. Don't want to make it too hot for your dog. My dog was a Karelian bear dog. So Karelian. So it kind of looks like a border collie, except it's like Arctic fur. So I was always ultra careful and stuff like that. I didn't want to, you know, bring her into leave her in a hot car or anything. So I was always quite conscious about that kind of thing. But some people aren't. You know, they'll leave their dogs in the car and, you know, they don't realize how hot it can get. I've seen Kevin Hart on Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. He and Jerry were riding around in a tiny race car, and Kevin's shoulders didn't come up to the top of the door when he was sitting in it. Yeah, I think he's pretty small, isn't he? I don't know how tall Jerry is, but I think I always heard that Kevin's pretty small. But you know, from what I've gathered, those Teslas have a lot of functionality in that screen, though. Do a lot of things with it. That self-driving stuff is pretty cool, where you can tell your car to come to you. That's pretty cool. I don't think that they allow that in Canada, though. I think it's just the States. I think it's not legal in Canada yet. But you could tell the car to come to you, you know, like, or and go park itself, kind of thing. I think they're still perfecting it. It's kind of in a beta mode sort of thing, but the beta mode you have to pay like money to get. I mean, ultimately, I think it'd be really cool having like a Cybertruck or something like that once those come out. Those are supposedly more reasonable, and it will probably be better for someone my size to not have to go down into a car. Like a truck will be a little higher, like the Model X was. The Model X is like an SUV. It's just easier for me to get in and out of. Although I don't think the Cybertruck's out yet. Although one thing you'd be worried about a little bit with the Cybertruck is people know it's definitely a Tesla. So there's some people that are really weird about electric vehicles still. You know, they'll actually vandalize them. Or park in front of them and stuff like that too. You know, block off the charging. Thank you for liking, Rose. Much appreciated. There we go. Deliver all the sandwiches. 20 grand, please. 30 grand, please. I don't like electrical cars all that much, but they get the job done. I think it's just kind of interesting because they're a new, evolving technology. So I've been reading up a lot on them and stuff like that. I don't know if I'd be ready to jump in on one right now because, you know, there's going to be a huge difference between an electrical car now and then and an electrical car in, say, like 10 years. Because, you know, that technology is ever evolving. Must go to sleep? Okay, well, thank you for coming by. Have yourself a good sleep. As Alexa says, sleep tight. So I got one of those Alexas lately. Talk to it sometimes and get it to tell you easy jokes. Here's a thought Energizer gas station. Yeah. The issue with electric vehicles too is you know, they still have to put in, like, you know, for them to become the normal thing, they got to put in still a lot of electrical grid upgrades and stuff, so you get more charging stations and all that stuff for them. But eventually, you know, I bet you won't see a gas car on the road by the time we get old. You know, depending on how fast that technology moves, because, you know, sometimes tech can move really, really, really quick. Although the lawmakers move pretty slow usually. Good night. So here we go. We're making the Nachi. Or Noki, I guess is how you'd say it. What do you think of electric vehicles, Timothy? Would you dare? You won one in a mall raffle, would you keep it? Although that is a good thing about, or a good point about insurance, because insurance is pretty brutal on those. Unless you get the ones that are, I guess, a little cheaper. Turn these in and go get some more supplies. I want to sell. You've only driven a car once? You know, the thing about those electric cars is they got kick. When you hit that pedal down to the floor, you know, they move right now, you know. Not like not like some of the ones you see where it's like, you know, it takes you a while to get up to 100 kilometers an hour. Those get up there quick because they're just pure power, right? There's a bit of water over there. You don't even know when that was? Been a while, eh? I actually don't drive a lot myself. You know, I try to take the bus and stuff like that. Minimize driving, so I have a car that's a 2004 and it's got just over 100,000 kilometers on it, which shows you I don't drive a ton. I've had that car the whole time. And you know what the sad part was? When it had 2,000 kilometers on it, some dude rear-ended me. That's such a heartbreaker. You got a brand new vehicle and gets into an accident. You count bumper cars you've driven a lot? There you go. I haven't really driven bumper cars too much. Gotta water them every day. Is there not a lot of need for driving where you are? Do you take the bus a lot? Oops, it turned a little bit. Funny, beach volleyball doesn't have any votes yet. Don't forget to vote! Maybe your favorite activity will be the winner, eh? Like a tie. Oh, you're in the country. Oh, okay. You'd think that would up your need to drive a bit more, actually. Alright, we've done that one up there. Water this. I think Monday is festival day. So make sure you remember that, Timothy. 28th is Monday, isn't it? So that's a special once a year thing. That's what all these things here, this pink stuff's all about. You don't suntan, you sunburn. Well, I think in the essence when I put suntanning there, it could represent anything where you're just kind of sitting on very relaxing, you know. Pockets are too full. What the crap? Oh. We got too much money. All right, now that we got one space, we could probably make some flour again. Look at the money. That's right. Show me the money. Remember that movie, by chance? Jerry Maguire, I think it was called. I probably mostly sunburned too. We're using up the wheat. Definitely showed me the money. It looks pretty great. I don't even need to really make money. But you never know when that $1.2 million crown comes along, you know. Make some more of this. You haven't seen many Tom Cruise movies? You know, there's some good ones he's had. I think there's some good ones. One I really liked actually was called The Edge of Tomorrow, I think it was called. That one was pretty good. That one was like a kind of a time travel-y kind of one in a way, because he would go basically, or Groundhog Day kind of. What got me into live streaming video games? Well, they're bringing in the quiz. I just saw somebody do it one time and it looked fun. And just to learn something new, because I like learning new things. Understand how it works and so forth, you know, and the meta game of it, you might say, I guess. You know, like there's a lot of things you learn when you're doing it too, you know, like there's a lot of background stuff, and even getting to know how, you know, how a content creator works, I guess. You know, one thing that I've discovered, there's a lot of fake content creators, to be honest. Thank you for liking. Much appreciated, Walter. So, like, you know, a lot of people get into it exclusively for the money. And they'll sell you their mother. You know, like, you know, they'll play a game they hate. They'll promote a product they never use. You know, it's just, you know, there's a lot of fakeness. Not everybody, but there is a lot of that, I think. So, you know, it's all about getting the numbers for some people, right? You know, I got a few people watching, but, you know, and I could probably have more if I played certain games that I don't like or something like that, but yeah, you know, there's a lot of people that are exclusively in it for the money. And you know, the worst part is that the ones that get real money out of it, that you see in your dream of being kind of thing, for a lot of those content creators, a lot of those ones is just a small percentage. You know, if you think of it like sports, there's you know, I mean, whatever professional sports you're watching, let's pick hockey. You think of hockey, you know, there's only so many top athletes, right? And then there's a lot of people that you know, kind of can do okay on it. You know, they play in the minor leagues professionally for their whole life or whatever. And then there's a lot of people that never ever make it. And it's kind of like that. You know, there's a lot of people that, you know, they just kind of thrive off the dream. And then there's a lot of people that wind up making money off of them. Selling them services to teach them the dream or whatever, you know, or how to get to the dream or whatever. I got to go to sleep. I took Buckley's complete night gels and kind of shut me down. Okay, well, thank you for coming by. I don't know if Walter stuck around for the answer to that question, but hopefully that answered it. I think, though, in the end, it takes a lot of work. It's more than just going live. It takes a lot of work to even get anywhere where you're remotely close to getting a partnership or anything like that. A lot of people make partnership their goal, and that's just the beginning, really. We're putting Timothy to sleep. That's what our goal is right now. I'm gonna sing him a lullaby. Or do I play him a song on the in-game piano, maybe? Dylan, thank you for liking. Much appreciated. We will make 4 more of these, and then we'll go back to making tomato curry. You ready and listening? You like the face paint? It's like a mask. Some sort. Look at that, eh? Here, we'll go to this piano here. For Timothy. You like water but no sharks? I don't know if I've ever swam anywhere that had sharks. There you go, that's all the song you get out of me. No sharks, doot doo doot doo doo. What do you need today? I need to sell. That was a fine song, though, for Timothy. Hopefully that makes him sleepier than the Buckley's night gels. I remember one time I was a young little boy on a beach somewhere. And I was digging around because, you know, that's cool to do. And I uncovered some sort of weird crawly thing. And I remember it freaking me out. You know, maybe it was a crab. I'm not or something with 6 legs. I don't know. I just remember being freaked out by it and then running away. And that is my story. Good story, eh? It was good, thank you. Now, good night. Have a good night. Have a good sleep. And that was the rest of the story. I don't remember that guy's name. It was a Canadian guy, I remember. Man, looking at this stuff makes me hungry. All right, here, tomato curry for everybody. You get more than one portion if you're hungry. Whoa, Microsoft Store got updated. That was perfect if you're wondering what that beep was. What we needed. Although, I don't know if I've ever used Microsoft Store on my computer. Making all the tomato curry. These sell for a good amount actually. Because if you kind of figure for most of this food stuff, see how it takes 3 flour and 3 tomatoes, 6 items total. More items they use, usually the more moolah you get. Weird thing. So these tomato curries, they get good amount. Same with those nachos and the pumpkin bagel. Close battle here on the votes. There's now a 2-way tie for last and 1 vote difference for first and second. You haven't voted. You'll make a difference. Somebody finally liked beach volleyball. Beach volleyball had no votes for a while. I did bring a lot of fine things in today. Man, these guys have given me millions and millions of bells. So you can imagine how much money they make. Because, you know, I'm probably giving it to them at a discount. You know, like I get 37,000. They get probably 60,000 or 70,000. You know, because that's usually how stores work. Some stores don't mark it up too much, though. I guess maybe they only make 45,000. Tomato curry for you. Hope you love tomato curry for you. Look at the tomato curry. Guess who it's for? For you. There you go. You see that? There's 69 flowers left. 69, big 69. Tomato curry for you. Oh yeah. Who doesn't like confetti laced tomato curry? We got paper flying everywhere. For you. Look what I made, some tomato curry for you. We can only make 2 more tomato curries for you. This is the last tomato curry for you. Can only make pancakes now. Everyone who loves Denny's, please stand up. Please stand up. Well, that's a pretty plain pancake. I don't know if I've ever had that plain of a pancake at Denny's. Man, my guy's like a super good cook, eh? Oh, spaghetti. Oh, we're full. You know what we're full of? We're full of tomato curry for you. I wonder what the heck that thing on the left behind him is. I guess it's on his right. Like spices or something, maybe? Spices is the guess I'm gonna go with. Selling all the tomato curry to you. Going to make 45,000 bells. Hey, I was close, right on. You have the winning bid! Come on down to the Price is Right. Better have some water, eh? All right. We got 1, 2, 3, 290. Hey, spices. I was right. It's like spices and some syrup or something. Maybe that's vanilla. I don't know. Should check that book. I need books for some recipes. We'll go there after we're done making pancakes. Oh. Make some pancakes. We can make a total of 15 pancakes. Well, I guess there's 2 on the plate, so it'd be 30 pancakes. These are really thick pancakes, though, if you think about it, though. I mean, that's quite the pancake. Look at that. It's like actually about 4 pancakes, normal pancakes. You know, if you go to a pancake place, it's not like super thick like that. There's definitely 2 pancakes in the picture, but those are 2 mega pancakes. Probably take longer than 2 seconds to cook. Hopefully we're not serving them raw. We got some butter and syrup on it. Doesn't go down better than that, does it? Wonder where I'm getting the butter from. My ingredients are flour and sugar. I think I don't have to go around collecting eggs and crap, eh? We can make a grand total of 7 pancakes remaining. We now have 6 pancakes remaining. 6 sets, I guess. Five pancakes remaining. So the question is, can we make pancakes without having to empty out? We lost count. There's 3 pancakes remaining. We lost count. It is now 2 pancakes remaining. The last set of pancakes. We are out of flour. Attention. We are out of flour. Make anything else? I don't think so. If I had fancy coconuts, I could make coconut pancakes too. Should check for coconuts first. What am I doing, eh? No coconuts. They'll be there tomorrow. Take a quick beach scout. Stars in the way, kind of there. Oh, there's more stars back. Turn around. We'll just teleport around. Back and forth to the exact same spot. This is where I want to be. Got him. All right, what's Gold Klaus worried about? What's next? You thinking about moving? No, it just didn't want anything, eh? All right, we gotta sell. Sell high. Buy low. A lot of fine things. Will probably give us another 40 grand. Oh, not quite. 28. I overbid that time. Let's go check, see if Old Red has any more. Look for Red, see if he has new paintings. I don't know what day he changes paintings. It only takes a minute to get there. Do, 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 do. Yeah, let's adjust position here. I forget there's spiders in the game, and each time they pop up, you get terrified. Yeah, they kind of surprise me a lot of times too. Did you ever run into a spider island, Cat? I have a spider island. I made a video of it. I put it on here. On the old Facebook somewhere. It was like that whole island. I had my entire inventory except for one spot where I had the shovel full of spiders in it. Got me $320,000. Died 2 times? Yeah, on my spider island, it took me a while to really... Like, you know, I probably went down a number of times. I think I already have this one. Amazing painting. Pretty sure. Yeah. Got that. I have a little notepad. No, we don't want that crap. New stuff in already. What wants your stuff that we have already? I had authentic ones, so yours are probably fake. Trainwreck Bavarian Cream is reporting Tango Taekwondo is go. Do you require assistance? Over. Want to bust buns and burners about that peach down? Pack snacks and make tracks. I haven't encountered a shark island yet, though. I haven't been doing the islands as much, though. Maybe I'd actually get something that museum dude needs, eh? Back in the house here. There we go. Put that inside the house. Yeah, I should really reorganize this room here. I moved half the instruments outside onto that sidewalk. It does make the room tidier when you just have a harmonica and a bamboo thing. I don't know what that's called. They got this thing here though, these little thyroid things. Well, we do have a gong too in here. That's a harmonica. Oh, that's not a harmonica, it's a tambourine. Well, who knew? Who knew, man? We got an Apple TV. Got a pretty cool chair here. And then So we got a bedroom sort of thing. I don't know what you call this room exactly. Some sort of office, I guess. A fireplace. Lots of burning things. And if we go downstairs, we got money all over the floor. Food and trophies and a bunch of hospital beds. Upstairs, we got the ultimate bathroom. See, does that look like a bathroom you'd want to dump in? You have your choice. If you have to number one and you're a man, there's 2 urinals. There's a squat toilet. There's a gold toilet. And then there's a toilet over here. There's a bidet over here. You could have a serious party in here. Go in here and do your makeup or whatever. Your shower. Bath. Got everything. There's towels over here. There's this thing you could sit in. The most private bath. But I mean, everybody in the whole party could go at once if they wanted. Go check if there's anything good in the vending machine. Or not vending machine, thingamabopper. I guess it's sort of a vending machine, eh? You gotta order stuff through it. Ready? Cypress plant. Scooter. Castle wall. I think I have KK Safari. Right. Put our money in the bank. Crap, there's a bunch of stuff in here. Socks. Floppy table. Dirty tank top. Good theme. Oops, I hit the mic. Sorry. You know what's exciting on Monday? It's the festival. There we go. We made our home. Holy socks. Holy moly. Excuse me. I think I have an unfinished puzzle though. Excuse me. Book. What if I do? One. There it is. They had a book for sale at that store. Probably buy a couple bucks. Now that I've drained my money, I gotta go get some, but we'll go in here. Sell this puzzle piece. $72 bells. We'll get a couple of them. You can use it for crafting. Sit here and buy books all day. I'll buy 5 of them. Like, holy crap, dude. Well, what are we gonna do with 5 books, eh? Freedom. Gotta go look up what the recipe is. Yeah, I can make that. The one I was thinking of, though. I need wood. There we go. Who doesn't need a tiny library? I need 3 books for that. There's like a wood chest that was new. There we go. Where would you put a tiny library, I wonder? Be on the beach? Who wants to read a book? There we go. It's probably good enough for now. I have to work tomorrow, so I'm gonna get some good sleep. You haven't followed yet, please do so. Here's your chance to vote while I do the thank yous. So if you haven't voted yet, you can vote too. Thank you to everybody who stopped in, chatted, who watched and didn't chat, and who's watching in the future. Chris, thank you. Dylan, Timothy, Walter, Rose, Kat was the most all the recent chatters. Rose, thank you for becoming a follower, and House Hydra, thank you for inviting your viewers. And of course, if you want to check out my YouTube, there's thousands of hours of videos you can watch of past videos and some clips and stuff. Past streams all the way back to Mixer. If you want to check out my TikTok, the link is also in the video description. If you're wondering which choice won the poll, wait no longer. Excuse me. Let me get a drink first before you get the results here. Anyway, full result is swimming won 40% of the vote. Suntanning got 30% of the vote. Beach volleyball got 20% of the vote. And building sandcastles got 10% of the vote. Still coughing. Sorry about that. Anyway, thank you again for being here, and hope everybody has a great night. And we'll hopefully see you again soon. I stream every day at 7 o'clock Pacific time.